Okay. Is that working? That's working, right? I can close it already. Did that work? Does that say streaming somewhere to you guys? Okay. I look very confused right now because I set my Zoom up for dual screen when I was doing Lisa Bilyeu session. So I've got this like two Zoom screen thing going on. It's like really crazy. Hey Daniela, were you at the Lisa session? Hello.
Hello, nice
Yeah,
meeting you all. Hi,
nice
Cams.
meeting you. This is the first time
Yeah,
you come in?
yeah, it's the first time I opt in doing Lisa video session. Well,
Yeah,
I'm
did you?
part of ITU, so
Oh, you're part
I'm following
of
you.
ITU.
Yeah, here
I
we
love
go.
meeting ITU students. Are
Yeah,
you in the
so
72-hour challenge?
sorry.
Are you in the 72-hour challenge?
No, I'm participating in too many challenges, so
I
I had
know,
to
right?
cut.
So for those of you who don't know, ITU is like impact theory group, and Tom Bilyeu just set us like there's no particular thing he's forcing us to do, but he kind of just went, "Hey guys, 72-hour challenge if you like." Go do your task. And then so you can't like we're just so some people kind of opted in and go, okay, I want to take up a 72 hours challenge. So if any of you guys feel like doing a 72 hours challenge, I'm just extending it. So there's no real particular thing. It's just basically whatever things you know you need to get done, shit you need to get done, and you haven't done it, well, kick off 72 hours. So my goal that I wrote in there was like, I wanted to, because I just ran the Lisa Bilyeu session, uh, a, a lot of people were like, how are you doing that? So I thought I should document the how and it will become useful. So I thought I should do a checklist of all the tasks that I had to do to make that event go from 0 to what it came to be. It's like, how does it end up being basically how does it end up being like this many people in the room, right? So a whole bunch of tasks must have to occur for that to happen. So it's kind of like, the sequences of doing that. I was like, oh man, that sounds like a chore. But still, I think it's important to document it so that when it comes to like staff hire and scaling, it's like there's got to be a document to hand over so people know what tasks they need to be done. So I thought I will probably try and do that. Yeah. Let's see the chat. A part of doing event consulting is about having personality. So people want to join. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. The personality thing helps draw people in. Yeah. But you know what? Personality, I don't want people seeing that and thinking, oh, do I have the personality or not? It's like, no, that's totally something you train yourself to do. And I say this because like I'm an introvert. I don't really like showing up on cameras. I'm used to it now. It's become more normal. But like if you spoke to me like 3 years ago, it's pretty weird. Like I don't like seeing myself on camera. I think my voice sounds weird, like all the doubt that a lot of people have. And I also is not very expressive, like normally, like my face. I mean, like I used to work in corporate and I'm very poker face. Like I just sit there and like just type and stuff, right? And people can't tell if I'm happy, sad. I'm just normally frowning like this in front of my computer. Like that's like my only look. And because of that, I still do a lot of that. I've just gotten accustomed to doing that. And sometimes when I work, people will look at me weird. They'll be like this. And I know that they are just mirroring my face. I'm like, shit, am I frowning again? So yeah, personality totally trained. It's just a trained thing. You just know that when you're coming on and you want people to engage, you've got to come on with like, a brighter personality. So let's kick off. Worthy starts here. So I do like how Jamie kicked this book off. She's like, you become what you believe you're worthy of. And there is no shortage of. You guys know I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to personal development, right? And pretty much all the books on personal development all comes down to this. It's like do you believe? Do you believe it? You become what you believe you're worthy of. Like even when you go back, so one of my all-time favorite books, that I believe you don't read any books, you just read this one book, right? Like I know we're reading Jamie's book, I know we're reading Lisa's book, but I'm like, if I had to pick one book in personal development, I would probably pick Think and Grow Rich. And the thing is that I don't think anything in here is not like all of these new books. It's like it's kind of got the same theory in it, said in different ways, because each one of us, when we read something, we have a different take, right? We read the same stories, but because we have different experience, culture, moms and dads influence, friends, we all came to like our life differently. So our worldview is different. And I find it so fascinating when I'm reading, like, whether it's Jamie's book, Lisa's book, Lois Howe's book, any of this realm of book, which is all in personal development, it still has those same fundamental things. So when I look at Think and Grow Rich, it's like the first word is think. That's like, and then it's all just our thoughts. So you become what you believe. Belief is just like our belief. It's our thoughts internal within us. So I thought that's a great start. You become what you believe you're worthy of. So and I like that she kicks it off with, hey, do you guys remember the first time, perhaps as a little kid sitting in classroom, that you knew the answer but decided not to raise your hand? I remember that. Did you guys have that? Yeah, right. So she's able to pick an experience that probably majority of the people have felt, and this is really smart. Because when I read these things, part of me, because like online business coach and things like that, it's like, that's a good hook, right? That's a good story. Like most people will resonate to that. And then she continues with, like, you debate raising your hand until you decided not to. And just like that, in a single moment, you began to live in a way that was incongruent with your soul's fullest expression. You doubted, you held back, you hid, you played it safe, you questioned whether you were wrong. Even though you probably knew you were right, you questioned if you were smart enough. I'm like, yep, that was me. I'm like, there's so many times when I'm like, I think I know the answer. I think I might put my hand up. And it's like, I think. I never put my hand up. Some kid will put the hand up. And to be fair, I really don't think I was smart. Like a lot of the times when people actually said the answer, it isn't so much this view where I'm like, oh yeah, I knew the answer and I didn't say it, and that person said a more stupid answer. No. Generally, it actually wasn't like that. My experience was like, shit, I'm glad I didn't put my hand up. That person actually had a really smart answer. I actually feel kind of dumb. I'm glad I didn't put it up, right? So I kind of had a more different view. It's not like I thought I was a smart kid. It's like I actually thought I was kind of dumb, and I'm kind of glad I didn't put my hand up because I am scared of those things. It's like I am scared of the what will people think, right? Because she continues this with, like, are you still that little kid who doubts? Sitting silently at work meetings. I'm like, yep, that was me. And I did that for so long. Like, and I think people that know this version of me just think that is so crazy. It's like, no. When I was an accountant sitting in the work meetings, even us a quite well-respected senior staff, I was still that person. That's the thing. I was still sitting in the work meetings and I wouldn't say anything. I don't contribute my voice. I sat there taking notes as this like good old female Asian that I don't know, I just got taught to not speak up, respect I don't know, the white male not standing there. That was so my boss is like white male, right? and so I had this very typical of, they make their opinion. I just, take notes. I write the meetings for him at the end of it. Like I was that person. I was in the most high profile project. I was the business analyst, the person that would do all the benchmarking, do the Excel spreadsheet, come up with the formulas and stuff, and then present, like, we'll do the reports and give it to the executive for them to make the decision, for them to be the person that's standing, speaking up. Even when I had chances, I didn't. Like my boss would be like, so Carms, do you want to speak this meeting? Like, no, because I don't want to look stupid. I actually don't want to look stupid. So I do resonate with this kind of stuff. And so she continues with like, are you afraid you're not strong enough to be a leader? Yeah, like absolutely. I'm so afraid. Even when I got the promotion, even when I got the increase in pay, yeah, I was totally still playing small, like Jamie's kind of talking about. And I do the next thing she's talking about too, which is like, hey, maybe you really despise like hanging out with other people where you betray yourself and spend your precious free time hanging with people you don't want. And then like you could be really busy, and but you're still like hustling when you need to rest. Like I did all of those things. And when I say this, it's like it's not even like yonks ago. I'm talking about literally like in my last corporate job, which was like just only 3 years ago. It's like literally crazy when I think about how much I have changed in the 3 years. Like everyone online did not know that version of me. It's like 3 years ago when I was still in my corporate job, I did that for 15 years. It's like I was the person that was in the right at COVID time. I was a team leader at that time, project lead, and I was just delivering projects. Then when COVID hit, I knew it was going to be a big deal because I'm from Hong Kong, so it hit, China first. So Hong Kong kind of got that wave, and my dad was already like, face mask, shit, things, you got to be prepared. And like everyone in Australia at that time was still like, nothing was happening. And I'm out at the shops looking for like N15 fucking mask to pay $25 for. Like, I was a person looking for it before anyone started looking for it. So I naturally brought this issue into the team. I'm like, hi boss, I think we may have to prepare for this like pandemic thing that's maybe coming up. It wasn't a pandemic yet that time. I was just like, this COVID-19 thing could be a big deal. We probably need to think about it. And people just laughed at that point, right? And then when it actually hit, all our offshore task, which is like people that take calls, people that do the data work, like all of it, India, Philippines, all that offshore tasks, all of them disappeared, all the stuff. They had no internet access, like the whole, their countries is like melted down. They couldn't go into the office and all of that. All of that stuff came to us. And so we were crazy as team leaders. We were like, how do we do this stuff? And like at that time I was so stressed. How do I keep my staff mentally sane and all of that, right? This is when I had to step up, like Force stepped up, right? Force stepped up. And through this thing, I was so burnt out. Like no one is watching me, but me in my apartment here, I was working so hard. I was skipping morning tea. I was skipping lunch, barely gone to the bathroom. It's like I would just go from meeting. I was so burnt out. After like, I think it was like, I don't know, like 1 year into this job, and like I'm doing this like COVID thing where I'm just like so burnt out. I just told my boss, I'm like, this is like, I don't know why I was doing it. It's like no one's watching me. I could take a break and go to eat, but I didn't. And that's what we do. Like this chapter here, when it's talking about, hey, are you hustling and burning out when what you really need is rest? Yes. Right. And I can't even explain why I'm doing that. I guess I didn't want to let the team down, or I didn't want to let, my people down. So when we read this, I want us to think about, are we putting our time to where we want it to be? Really, are we congruently showing up and taking on activity that is congruent to us? This is what this is asking, because it's like, maybe you're struggling with health issue and losing faith in your body, your worth, your creator. Do you feel unseen at your core and tell yourself the lie that life is better that way? Maybe you're working in a business, but know you were born to run one, right? Maybe you're in an intimate partnership where your worthiness goes unrecognized, but you're afraid to be alone. So you're dimming your light and hiding from the truth. Maybe you're calling busyness a badge of honor. Like, I fucking did that shit. It's a fucking badge of honor. Like, I still remember, it's like, I literally was working till 8 o'clock, and it's like my time. It was like, it was coming up to the weekend. I'm driving, like, I'm in my car driving to away on the weekend to for my family or friends or wherever I was going. I remember I was driving and I was still pull the car to the side of the street to take a work call at some crazy hours, right? And it's like, why? Like, I don't, part of me at that time would be thinking, I'm just being a responsible, good old employee. But it's like, that's way above beyond what you should be doing. Now that I've stepped out of it, it's like the way I acted, I'm like, that's really crazy behavior. Like, I wish someone would tell me, that's not how you should live life, right? Like, but no one will pull me up on that shit, right? Like, no one would tell me that. Why? Because in the office, they would be actively promoting you to do that. The moment I even told them, it's like, there's way too much work for our team right now. And then they would just point the finger at, and that guy over there, how much he worked? It's like, he didn't know, like, he worked 20 hours straight, to do this thing. And then I start to feel bad. It's like, shit, someone else is working harder than me. So now we have this culture of like, who's working the hardest, who's being a machine. And it's like this proudness of like not sleeping for work. It's like, yeah, that is not how you should go, right? You're an employee. You're paid to, yes, do your job, but not to that extent. Not to the extent that you put your health second place, third place. And I would say during this time, and even now, I just still know so many people that do that. And it's kind of hard for me to tell them not to, because I was that person too, right? Like, people would have like stomach issue, people would like have headaches, people would have just go through back pain and all of this shit. But they would do it because they go, I have no choice. It's work. It's like, no, you chose that path. I know you don't see as if it's not a choice, but it is. So if that's you, please rethink. Health, nothing can be more important than your health. Like, your health is number one. Okay, so then Jamie talks about, the self-doubt, unworthiness, fear causes us to dim our soul's light. We're playing it safe. Like, are you hiding all of who you are? And you're living your life hiding in plain sight. Right? So many of us, like, we're just hiding. Why? Why are we hiding? Each of us should be seen. Like, look at your beautiful face. Like, look across. Like, some people are hiding now. Like, I don't know what they're hiding. And so it's like, Christina's like, I'm not. Lorena, I love it, right? It's like, it's so much fun, right? Like, we can, like, I love these, like, when you guys do these quirky stuff, it's like, that's the good part, right? Like, even as adult, I don't know why, but some part of our life is like, when we become adult, it's like, it's as if we're not it's as if we're like not allowed to have fun. It's like, no, you are allowed. Even as adult, it's okay to have fun. Yes, you've got other shit going on, but why do we feel like, I don't know why we feel this need of like not allowed to have fun? Or like, when our friends are going through a tough time or something, it's like, you can't be seen to be doing something fun. It's like, no, you can. You can still have fun. It's like, you can still be caring about someone else. It doesn't mean you have to look like fucking upset for like every time you see someone just because they're not having tough. Like, of course, the immediate moment when someone is sharing some bad news, you're not going to go laughing, but it's like, you're allowed to have fun in between things. You're allowed to have fun. Yeah. So I love the mask. What's that guy called? Chihuahua? No, it's not Chihuahua. That's a dog. What is that?
Chewbacca.
Chewbacca.
My kids got it in a present, so when they play around, it
Yeah,
has a
right?
noise in it as too. It's kind of fun.
That's so good. Yeah, then Jamie talks about how Oprah said that you don't become what you want, you become what you believe. Because we don't have too many of you here, I actually like putting people in breakout room. Do you guys want to go breakout room? Like, I don't know, but like if some of these people are not on, when people on camera are off, I don't know if they're like on or off. Like, are they here or if they like ran away? I guys are here. Do you guys want to go into breakout room? Is that a yes? Okay, yes for you want to go to a breakout room, or like, no, we'll hang here and answer together. Either way is cool. Which one, what would you prefer? Breakout room, hang together. Okay, cool. All right, hang together. Okay, let's go around and share then. What is something? Oh, you know what? There is actually Jamie Kern Lima. So interesting, by the way, if you run a business. She has set these group questions on like how to run a group, how to run a book club, and how to run a group. I think that's super smart. Like, because to give people structure. So one of the things you mentioned was like, hey, share with the group how the difference between things that build self-confidence versus self-worth has impacted your life. What does fulfillment look like in your life? So there's a lot of like kind of words, and we all attach different things to it. So I think the easier question is really just, if you had self-worth and if you had self-confidence, right? If you have these things, what would you do? Let's go around and think about what you want to do, because all of us want to achieve something, right? All of us have these goals. We all want to achieve something, but we might feel this like unworthiness of achieving that thing. So let's share what it is that you want in the future. And what's that thing? What is that voice that you have inside of you that like, I feel like I'm good enough for this thing? What is that? Let's go around. Christina. Could be anything, right? I have lots of them.
I have a lot, but it really struck me when people said, now you have twins. You can't do. And when people say can't, and it was Corona back then, it was like, no, it's not can't. It's more like, how can I?
Yeah.
So when I did a lot of things last year, it was due to people saying, no, you can't. But yes, I can.
Yes, you can.
Yes,
Yeah.
I use
Prove them wrong.
smaller time. I can help people, time management and all that. But it's more like I figure out, how can I do it?
How can you do it? That's a beautiful question.
So I love the way you speak about what is self-worth. And I see it as a lot about, if you have a lot of self-worth, it's okay to say, I don't know how to do that. How can I do that?
Yeah.
That is actually self-worth. Be open about and then figure it out.
Yeah. And figuring out, I love this, because the way I think about this is like, if I see another human has done it, it gives me actually a lot of confidence that it's like, oh, it's possible. Oh, it's possible. If someone can do it, that means the human capability, we all have it. So it's like, if I see another human do it, I'm like, okay, it's possible. How? Yeah, like Christina's saying, how can I do it? Like, with the resources that I have, or with what I know, what's that first step I can take? Oh, I like this. Yeah, the small step. And for people in ITU, you like this, right? So what Tom shares is like, because Tom is really, for those of you guys that knows Tom, you probably have an idea of his personality. Tom is just like data driven, like, what is that next step, right? So he's very like, it's just like, I can't even try to mimic Tom, like, because he's so like robotic. It's just like this way, right? Why are you guys not doing this? So Tom's thing is always like, what is the thing that you can do in the next 15 minutes? He's like, if you're not getting to your goal, it's because you don't have enough clarity, guys. I don't know how many times I have to say this, but it's like, you need to know to the point that it's like, you know what to do in the next 15 minutes. And it's like, okay, Tom, okay. Lorena.
So the question was, what am I? I
Yeah,
think
what do
that
you
for
want to-
me, I wanna show up more authentically. I think that I overthink too much how I show up myself, especially in social media. And because everything I've heard of how you have to present yourself and to be the authority, to be that person that knows or has the knowledge. And for a while, I heard that you couldn't show your like not your personality like that, but like your mistakes or what you've done wrong because you're the authority. So I've always curated a lot my content because I want to make sure it's the right message.
Yeah.
And I think I've hidden who am I in the process and just my personality, because I feel like I talk too much, I talk too fast. I talk, from point A to Z, Y, X to B, like I never in a straight line. So I've always stopped myself to showing myself.
Line.
I know, but there's people that are very like, this is a message. This is how you say it. I always, go back and forth. And I mean, you know me, like, I'm everywhere, even now. But I haven't given myself that self-worth, I guess, of showing myself just the way I am, because that's the people that love me and my friends and everyone, they love that about me. So, there's nothing wrong with showing that. So that's, I think, my goal for like the next thing is showing up just authentically and how I am. And
you know what I love
without,
about
I'm not putting any filters or anything. Like
She is like one of the most authentic people, and she has this fear that she's not authentic. That is the funny thing about you. It's like every time. And it's like, you might think you curate your social media, and sure, we might. And to be honest, I don't feel like you are curating it in the way that you think. As in, here's what I mean. When we put things on social media, it's like we have a responsibility on what we put up. It's like, I'm not going to film a random thing about me drinking this watermelon juice for no reason. It's like, that is authentically what I'm doing, but it's like, that's pointless. I'm not going to randomly post this thing about nothing. So when you say you're curating about things, it's like, no, you're just putting useful information out there that you think would help your audience. That's actually what you're curating. You aren't so much hiding certain bits and pieces. It's like you're not going to film a video about you're in the shower or like whatever, right? It's like we don't put everything on social media because that's just not what you would do. It's inappropriate.
There's no point,
right? So your stuff is very authentic. Is how I feel about your content. I want you to know that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Tell me.
I'm still working on that.
Yeah. No, so I think, like for people that don't know, like Lorena helps moms, and she helps them, navigate like life to be like better moms, because she's got kids and she's able to like juggle business with social content. Like she puts out a lot of social content. There's part of me that's like, I don't know how she's juggling all of that. Right? So no, you are doing great, Lorena. You just got to stop doubting yourself and just embrace you're doing good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think it comes to that. Yeah, just feeling I think it's not like I like, that's what I like about the book. It's not about like this, like the self-confidence part. I think it's kind of there, but the self-worth, like that's the
self-confidence and self-worthiness. Yes,
exactly.
There's a distinction. Yeah, and I think as we read it, we'll see Jamie's definition of that. So we'll see when we get up to that. But because we've got some people that aren't always here, I'd like to hear from everyone. Because the greatest contribution and the takeaway is like the shares, right? So let's hear from you guys. Daniela. And I'm just going no particular order, just through the order on my screen.
All right. So, hey, at the moment, one of my goals is to secure a job in New Zealand.
Ooh,
And
where? South or north?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So I'm in Germany currently, and my husband and I, we want to relocate to New Zealand. So, so that's the thing. I'm applying for jobs. I'm eligible for visa, etc.
Oh, cool.
And for me, it's like,
why did you pick New Zealand? Just out of curiosity.
Well, we used to live in Australia for a while, and we thought, okay, we want to go back, but maybe let's go to New Zealand because it's
beautiful.
Enough,
New Zealand's beautiful.
Yeah.
I've probably been there about 6 times. Yeah. It's one of the most beautiful places on earth. Yeah.
It is, right? And we have lots of friends there. So we thought, why not? Okay. Let's go on an adventure.
Okay. So what's the bit you're doubting yourself on? The being able to secure a job?
Well, the thing is, I apply for jobs, I get rejected, And for me, I haven't done that for a long time.
Okay.
For me, it's like dealing with a rejection and not taking it personal. And then, being like, okay, come on, it's just a numbers game.
Yes.
So that's my thing.
When was the last time you applied for a job?
Now. Oh, 8 years ago.
Oh shit! Holy okay. So let's make a promise to yourself today, then, Daniela. When will you look up the jobs? Do a bit of job search and apply for a job.
Oh, I'm already doing that. So I created a Seek profile. I'm on LinkedIn. I try to network.
Yeah. But no. You know what Tom is like. So I'm inheriting a little bit of that. So let's get to the specific. Yeah. When will you actually apply for the job, and how many?
So
creating a profile is one thing, but applying for job is another.
Okay, I sent out 5 applications yesterday. I already sent
cool!
Out
You're right in the midst of it.
Yeah, yes, and I have another 4 that I will apply today. So it's 12:30 p.m. here. So I still have.
Oh, good. So you've got like basically 9 applications in the pipeline.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to hear from you. Let us know when we.
Yeah.
And so when you get a job interview, is there any part of you that's like, what are you picturing when you get the interview? Like,
I haven't got the interview.
I know, but I say it in future terms, like when you get the interview, like assuming you will.
Yes, come on.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're imagining that, what's in your head? I'm asking because I know this question will help everyone. When you imagine that, like what's in your head? So we can compare picture, right? Because it's all a strategy. Because and I'm asking you because I'm really good at job interviews. So let's compare what's the mental image in your head.
Yeah. So well, at the moment I visualize it every morning. So I see myself on Zoom or whatever, talking to the people. We have a great connection with each other, that's a good chemistry. They ask me questions. I can convince them I'm the right person for the job. I will bring them great benefits for the company, help them achieve their goals, etc. So I picture every second of it, and then just, even signing the contract. Yeah. And then, I picture myself maybe moving there in 2 months, and
that's amazing. I like that.
Yeah, so that's definitely, I train really myself to see positive. But
I think the only, like, when we're thinking about mental images, and I asked this because I always think it's like whatever that's in our head, because if you go back to the thing, it's like whatever you believe you're gonna get, like whatever you think you're worth, right? So and I believe it's like this mental game inside here is like what actually lands you the thing. So when you tell me that thing, I'm like, and I'm picturing what you're telling me, and I'm comparing that mental picture with mine. I think the difference there, what would you like to know the difference?
Yeah, come on.
Okay, cool. the difference is that my perspective is not so much that, hey, I'm convincing you that I'm the right person. My perspective actually is, do I want to work for you?
Oh, nice. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. And I think that slight difference is a big difference. Because the way I go into an interview, I don't have the nitty-gritty of the okay, I'm explaining to you why I'm the right person. My whole head actually goes to the I'm walking out with the job. But whether I want the job, that's a different story. Like you choose to hire me. My next thing is just like, do I actually want to work for you? Like, and I want to be the one holding the power of the choices. Try that. Let me know. Let me know when you get the job. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. You're most welcome. Leticia. Hello.
Hi. What was the question exactly? I kind of
the
got
question is like,
sidetracked.
what are you working towards, and what is this like maybe unworthiness or thoughts that's coming up that's stopping you from getting to that thing? The life that you want, like
Yeah,
the fulfilling life that you want.
I think for me it's the emotional part. Yeah, I think physically and like I know I can do the work. I know I can do everything.
Yeah.
Like I'm the type of person that I don't sleep if I need to have something done. I will go the extra mile to the things.
Yeah.
But when it comes emotionally, I think is what I'm working on it. But I think
Emotionally, let's
I'm
get down to
slowly
specific. I'm like kind of got a bit of Tom in me tonight. I don't know why. So it's always like specific. Specifically emotionally,
It's
what is it
just
holding you back?
it's just that
Only if you want to share.
yeah, no, I guess it's just that I've been doubting for so long.
What are you doubting about?
Uh,
What are you doubt? By the way,
I don't.
Leticia just like
Yeah.
was speaking on
Yeah.
the same event, like at least a billion. That's radical confidence right there. So what are you doubting yourself on?
You know why, Carms?
Yeah. Yes.
Because we can't see that. As you say, we cannot see that. Even though I was so nervous. I was
It
going to
was so
tell you,
amazing.
maybe I can't do it. And but I say no, I will just show up. And like I just feel like I'm working on it, because after
We are
that
all working on it, Leticia.
but the thing is that when you see other people, like Lorena was saying, you see they are just so perfect, right? Like you feel they are just saying the right thing and you are not, and you feel that they are so confident and you are not. And but for me,
wait. Before you go further, who watched her talk? Who was at the event? How many of us were there? Okay. No, some of us, right? Some of us were there. Did Leticia did you keep your hands up if you thought she came across very confident? Can you tell her your thoughts when you saw, because she never got the feedback, right? We did the session, it finished, and then she went back to her normal life. So can we just we'll just go around, right? Chris, so that it's not bias, because it could be, maybe it's like my bias you. I just think you were amazing. Maybe people didn't. I don't know. But they seem to have put their hand up. So Christina, what did you think of her speech? How did you find it?
When I saw you preparing, we were in the Zoom room and the background, and we said, you can do it. After that time, you were calm on the outside.
Yes,
So
she
keep
was
doing it. On the prep, you were, oh no, how can I do it? And we said, go for
her
it,
background
Leticia.
was like mirrored, so she had to flip it back.
Yeah, and we said, just do it. And it flipped the right way, and you did it. So difference between the outside and the inside. You did it.
Lorena.
Yeah.
What did you think of Leticia?
I think I didn't see the little thing before, but for me, you came out across with this like grounding presence, you know, like not, I mean, of course, everyone was a little nervous, but even so, you managed to stay calm and like talk with confidence, and like your message was coming across fine. Like this, like grounding, like
grounding is a good
presence.
word.
For me, it was like that. Like so, and
Yeah.
I think you give that vibe, like that we all need sometimes when we're running with like chickens with our heads, you know.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lorena. And you know what? Now that you were making that comment about you being authentic, I told Carms about my speech. That my speech was a different speech originally, but I told Carms when I was rehearsing and going through, I thought that this part of the speech was actually what I felt stronger about it. What I felt it was more me. So when I hear what you were making that comment, to be more yourself, I say it's true, it's very true, because then the speech just came out like that, right? Yeah.
You know what I think it's beautiful? When you guys
So
see that of each other, it's like it actually means you both share that. So both Lorena and Leticia actually has this grounding thing to them. Like they will both have, sure, we all have the little bit of nervousness, whatever. It's like we all have that because we're not professional, right? Yeah, Christine's like, yeah, we all have that. Like I still have it too. But you two have that heart thing, and arguably you might have it more than me, because sometimes I talk really fast because I'm nervous. Right, whereas actually both of you has this like inner calmness that you don't rush through like I do. I keep rushing through myself, and you talk really calmly through your words.
I think it's because we have to think in English, and that gives us like a moment to pause and think
but
of
that's
the word.
to your advantage. That actually is to your advantage. So it doesn't matter if that is the case. It's like use that to your advantage, right? Just
no, for me.
Cool.
for me, you know what?
Yeah.
For me, you know what it is? I have the micro thought behind it, if I'm saying the right thing or not. Like instead of, I kind of pre-approve what I say, I think.
Yeah. We all do. And we should, right? When we have thoughts, we should actually pre-approve. Like we should actually think before we speak. That's what we should all do. If all of us actually said an unfiltered thing out, it's like there are thoughts that you probably should stay in there, right? So no, that's part of being a good human. All right, Priscilla. Hello. Good to see you.
Hello, are we, what?
Yeah, let's hear you share. What is it that you like, maybe the next step or the next goal you want to achieve, but what's kind of like that little, unworthiness or thing that's kind of stopping you from getting to where you want to go?
Well, my goal is to become a coach and work
what
online. Kind of coach? Women's coach that heals their past.
Yeah, I love that. We need more and more, like as many of those as possible. Yes, and what's stopping you?
So because at the moment I'm studying and I'm studying a counselling course which finishes end of the year, and then after that I've got a plan to, like, while I'm doing that, I'm posting to get on Facebook to feel comfortable sharing my thoughts with people, and also to see who's attracted to my vibe.
Exactly. I love it.
And so those are small steps. And then because I know that doing webinars and that is part of being a coach online.
Yeah.
I have to get confident in speaking online, like in lives or whatever, and like learn from others that are doing it, so that I can feel like feel confident on screen over the internet.
You know what's a really great thing? Just now, this is what you're doing right now, right? When we're going around, and this is why I do this, right? When we go around the room and we hear from each other, it's kind of like it's a bit like, you know, when you're like a little kid at the classroom and you have to go around and you like have this like little daunting feeling. It's like, you know, that is going to come to you soon. And what am I going to say? It's like, we are overcoming that fear. I had that fear so much. Why? Because, you know, Lorena and Leticia might be like, oh, okay, yeah, it's because we have to think, you know, to convert English. It's like, I don't know what it feels like. There were a time when I couldn't speak English and I was that little kid in class and I'm doing the converting thing in my head. I'm really slow. And so when it came to me to read the next line in the book, I'm fucking so scared. I'm so scared because one, I couldn't pronounce a lot of the words. And I didn't want people to know that I'm stupid or that I couldn't speak English, as if it wasn't obvious enough, right? It's like, I'm Asian. It's like my second language. But there's like this, I don't know, embarrassment that I'm in the country, I don't know the language, and I don't want people to find out. It's like, that's the thoughts that run through in my head. It's so dumb. It's like, of course, the less you speak, your English is not going to improve. But it's like, but I was trying to avoid it all the time. Like, and I would be so relieved if, you know, we were in class and they're like, you know, it stopped just before me. Oh, I survived this class, you know. But it's like that is that scary feeling. It's like, that's the thing we need, like, you know, to become the coach, to become the, you know, show up and all of that. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. Just come to these sessions more often. Use it as like a practice, right? You know, share your things. And the more you can fluently talk in these sessions, then you just realize, you know what? It's kind of just normal. These people here actually are pretty nice, right? We all share our little, like, you know, things that we're scared about, and it's totally cool. And then we get a bit better at it. Like, even after doing this for all the time, like every week for 3 years, if you hear the way I talk, I still have all the ums all through. Even when I watch replays of my awesome sessions with like amazing guests, it's like, shit, I watch a replay, I'm like, what the fuck did you say so many ums in there? Like, you know, it's like, that's like, I still have that. And you imagine how much of that I've done. And it's like, it's still not like improving to the level I want. But, you know, it's like, I will just still show up and watch it and go, I'll try and be better next time, right? It's just that. So yeah, thank you for the share. Lynn. Oh, and Priscilla. Yeah, just keep making in parallel. Don't wait till I know you said you're gonna try and make posts and attract people. Do that. Yeah, for sure, do it. Don't wait till the end of the year when you finish the counseling thing. It's like, just start making posts. Like, and yeah, see who comes to you. Yeah. Do it in parallel, save time. Lynn disappeared on us. Elaine.
Yeah, but Lynn wrote in the chat earlier. She couldn't speak, but she talked about her dreams in the chat.
Oh, okay, yes, I missed it. See, it's like staying in present with you guys is hard to like be present and look at the chat. So sometimes I miss things. Thank you for letting me know. Is Elaine or Jay there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. Okay. Share.
What I'm actually working towards is basically getting more like lead role. And so basically this self-worth, right, for an actor or an actress is a big, huge thing. Because
I know. We've heard it a lot now, Elaine. What have you done about that?
Okay, self-worth basically it means recognizing and valuing your unique talents, right?
Yeah, totally.
So contributing to the craft. So yeah, so basically, like I can give you one example. Basically, like I went to audition for a lead role, but then I actually got a
Why are you hiding, Elaine?
I'm not hiding. I'm just behind somewhere.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, because basically, like I went for a lead role, but then I got like a smaller role than a lead role.
Then the role you wanted, yeah. And then?
But I still took it because I feel like I feel like, taking it is like, it's like training for me too, you know what I mean? So it's like,
Of course.
for me, not working, not even getting the role. And I learned this because from my, I learned this from let me see, from the Crazy Rich Asian. When I went for the audition, they called me for a role. I rejected that.
You rejected a role in Crazy Rich Asian? What were you thinking, Elaine?
Because I wanted the role for the cousin role, and then they gave me something that is a smaller role than the cousin, and I rejected it. And I was hoping that I will get a cousin role from the US side instead from the Singapore side, you see. And then after that, it's like, and then when it started to have, they started to have the shooting, right? Then I got panicked. Then I called them back, basically. So when I agree, Of course, the role has been taken by someone else. So mine is a lot lesser right now. And then
yeah. So what did you learn? So what is the actual learning there, Elaine, for you to take away?
I'm still figuring this out, but I think at the same time, I think that even though if I don't get a bigger role, I will still take a smaller role, in a sense that because I will use that like a training. Just for example,
yeah, of course. Hang on, let's think about this strategically, Elaine, right? Because what's happening here is that you're stuck on this. Okay, you could have had a role in Crazy Rich Asian. You knocked it back, that role, because you thought it was too small and you wanted a particular role. Great, we got that. Now you're like, okay, but you're still applying for jobs, and now you're taking up a role that's like less than that one that you rejected. And it's like, okay, that's kind of a bit of a kick to yourself, right? And you're like, damn it, right? We can't change this thing, right? That's already happened. So what do you feel is within your control that, because the part you've got to change, and what's in this book is like, you've got to feel like you're worth it. And I know that part of you, it's like thinking, yeah, but I rejected the first one because I know I'm worth more, right? And that's why you did that.
Correct.
And now it's like you feel like your worthiness have dropped because now you have to accept one that is like less than before, right? Let me tell you a story then, because I think we need something to bridge that gap, right? When I'm in my accounting job, when I was doing my accounting job, I didn't work for a couple of years because I quit work because I'm like, okay, got enough money. I just quit work, right? For a while. For a couple of years, I didn't do any work. But I also wasn't a coach. I was just wishy-washy doing nothing, right? There was this 2-year weird gap where I had enough money. I quit. I'm like, fucking quit. I'm done. I'm not doing work ever again, right? And so I was just doing nothing. Then I turned brain dead. Then I was like, I'm just a shit person. I just don't feel like I'm worth anything. I'm not adding any value to this earth there. I'm just like, what am I doing here? Okay. So then I threw myself back to work. Now, of course, this was the point when I'm like, I rejected the 180 job. I rejected the 160K job because like, I don't fucking need to work, right? There's like that ego of like, I don't need to work, right? And part of it's like, I didn't. So then after doing nothing for 2 years, I'm like, fuck, need to go back to the job market, right? Go back to the job market. And it's like, now I have to accept a job that's like, I don't know, the equivalent of some fucking, I don't know, $70,000, like half the pay, whatever, right? And it's some casual shit job, right? And I'm like, you know what? It's good if I can take the role because it's better. It's better than me doing nothing, sitting my ass on the sofa, not being a coach, not writing a book, not doing anything, right? Not blogging, nothing. So it's like, okay, fine, I've taken a fucking shitty job, right? Temporarily. And this is what I tell myself, temporarily, you will do this thing just to be sane, right? So I take this job. Whilst I'm in there, I know I took a job and I'm way above that, right? So I'm doing these crappy tasks that's like, I'm so over these tasks. I used to do these for some other companies. Like, I know I'm not supposed to be in this position. It's like, fine, whatever. It's just getting into the routine, back to things. Whilst I was in this job, for some fucking reason, one person left the organization, two person left the organization, like within the 1 week, right? I'm 2 months into this job, right? Casual job. And I was like, what are you guys doing about those jobs, right? Like, you're hiring someone. And of course, at this point, they're looking at this like temporary casual staff. Like, I had skills. Like, they knew I had skills because I was showing that beyond what they were hiring me to do. But then they're not going to slot me in this manager role that's like, 170K, whatever, when they like got me for so cheap, right? That wasn't going to happen, right? So it's like, they're like, yeah, don't know, not really sure, rah, rah. So like, at least I kind of asked, right? Planted the seed, right? I know that I'm not staying there, Elaine. So what do? I go apply for more jobs. Apply for more jobs. Like, you guys are applying, right? Apply for more jobs. Apply for another job. And I get that job, right? Now that job is only about 120,000, right? It's not 170, it's not 180, it's like 120,000. But the thing is, 120 is still better than 70, right? So it's like, okay. And I tell this boss in my temporary job, it's like, I'm quitting. I know I've only been here for 3 months, but you know what? We know it's casual. I guess, I'm not suitable enough to get the permanent job. So you know what? I'm just letting you know, I found a full-time job, which is more aligned to what I'm doing. So quitting. And they were like, whoa, wait a minute, right? We don't want to lose 3 staff in 1 week, right? So then I get into this chat, and now they willing to offer me a 160K job. I was like, and I don't take it yet. I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. Like, that's a pretty good offer, right? And the agent that was through that was like, yo, Carms, what are you even thinking about? It's like, your position? I was like, I'll take that in a beat, man. Do you know 160K job? You're like cruisy, right? Government, 160K, you know all of that stuff. You've already done it so many times. It's like, you're just chilling out. You're basically paid to chill out. I'm like, I know. But then like, how come you're not taking it? I'm like, that's not the job I want. Like, I don't want to be in government. That's the thing. Like, I don't feel like that's for me anymore. And I'm like, I want to get out of government. At this point, I've done government job my whole life, right? So, and we all know what government job is like. Like, there's this perception we're really slow or red tape, all right. So it's like, I'm like, no, I want to do like a different kind of job, right? Commercial type job. You can't keep up with the pace. I can get you one of those jobs. Take the government job. It's a no-brainer. It's like, this is the best job you can get, right? And I'm like, and he's like, I can't get you any other job. It will be shittier pay. It'll be harder work. Why? Right? And I'm like, so I end up leaving, took the 120K job. So I'm taking a 40K pay cut to do a harder job, but a job that I feel like is more right for me. Right? So when I was in the interview, and this is why Daniela, I'm like, when I go into the interview, even when I don't have the experience, even when I've never been in that industry, I still have this confidence, like, I'm getting the job, right? I'm the perfect person for this job, and I will walk out with this job. So with that, it was so funny. I finished the interview. Hiring manager's looking at me. She looked like she's doubting. And I'm like, what are you thinking about? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, did I answer all the questions? She's like, the thing is that you did. And I'm like, so what's the problem? She's like, the problem is that you have 0 work experience in this industry. And it's like, but you answer the question the best out of all the candidates. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, and you know what? Every time I've done a job, even when I don't know something, I'm always thrown in the deep end and I will come out swimming. And the way I prove this is like, just life, not the job. I have no proof about the job. So it's just like, come from a divorced family. Parents dumped us in this country, kind of survived. I threw myself in Sydney, didn't have anybody, made it. It's like, I was just telling her life experience. Like, every time I'm thrown in the deep end, I somehow find a way to survive. And not only that, I do actually do really well. This is not going to be any different just because I haven't been in this industry. You will see that I am a fast learner. I adapt very quickly. And so I'm prepared for this job. I don't tell her I'm actually taking fucking $40,000 pay cut to risk this thing, right? So we actually both took a risk without her realizing. When she finished hiring me and I'm working there, and I told her, like, when I was leaving the company, I was like, you know what? Do you remember when you hired me and you gave me a shot? I was like, I was actually doing the same. She's like, what do you mean? And I actually told her I took a pay cut to be in this job. And she's like, wow, okay, didn't know that. She's like, I wouldn't have done that. That's a lot of money. I'm like, I know, but money wasn't the thing. I actually just wanted to be part of the team and prove something to myself. And so thank you for giving me that opportunity, even though I'm leaving. Yeah, so Elaine, what's the moral story? It's like, take it just as a temporary thing. You just want to know that the worthiness within yourself, you know you're meant for the lead role. You take this role as a temporary step only because it's better than whatever you're doing now, right? But that worthiness, it's like you keep applying for the next role. You just keep applying for the next role. And you want to do that with knowing that you're deserving of that, because that energy will come through in your audition.
Yeah,
How do you feel?
Yeah, but a lot of time I do like, because even when I go for audition, a lot of time like the director do feedback that that I'm very confident and everything. And also sometimes I also felt like I did a really good shot at getting that role. But at the end, of course, they decided to have someone else, So
Yes, and this thing where they decide on someone else, I want you to dare, like fucking dare to ask why. Because people will always say the nice things. Yes, you've done really well. We had really strong, like, the rejection letter. Yeah, really strong candidate. It's just like, they will give you that fluff, right? You want to get to the absolute truth. What is it? What is it really that they chose the other person? Because it's like, you can come across confident. What actor will not come across confident? They will not survive in Hollywood or any big film. Everyone has it. That is like the absolute, like, you know what? That's prerequisite of being an actor or an actress, to be confident. Otherwise, you're not even qualified to screen to begin with, right? So you want to get to the truth of that. What is that thing? Because that's where you can improve.
Yeah, but sometimes they may not even tell you the truth. Sometimes
Find out.
they may not even want to answer you at all. But most of the time, like out of all the auditions you go to, like most of them will not even tell you why.
Have you tried to ask? Have you tried to ask?
Yes, I try to ask, but not
How?
not every single one. Huh?
What's the line?
What was the line?
Yeah, what would you ask them to get to that next level? Granular detail.
So, like, I asked, like, why I was not selected, for example. Like,
Too vague. Too vague. Get to a more specific question.
Why I'm not chosen?
It's way too vague. It's way too vague, that's why. If you ask a vague question, you get a vague answer.
Okay. So, I will have to be more specific in a sense. Stuck here now. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. No, this is I'm totally not putting you on the spot, right? Like, I want you to win. That's why I'm asking, right? The absolute truth is, like, when we ask a vague question, we'll always get a vague answer. So it's like, ask a better question. If you want the answer, like, if you're willing to face the actual answer, you've got to ask a better question to get a better answer. Because you think about my interview, right? If I didn't ask that hiring manager, what are you doubting? Because I can see her face. She is about to reject me, right? And if I didn't ask her, she would have never told me that I'm hesitant because you have no experience, even though you answered it well, right? I would have, like, if I didn't ask that next question, I would have left the room and thought I did pretty good in that interview. And that would be factual. I did pretty good in the interview. She just didn't hire me. And if I called up and asked HR, they would be like, we had really strong candidates and you just didn't have enough experience, maybe. Like, even if they even told me that, right? But it's like, the fact that I'm asking during the thing to that person, to their face, I get a chance to now tell them that I can adapt to that thing, right? I don't think there's like shortage of stories where even when a director has chosen a person, I can't remember whose story it was. I'll probably have to find it for you. But it's like they changed their mind and slotted a less competent person in there because they dared to ask and showed that they were the right person for that role. Right? So you've got to create your opportunity in the moment when you're in front of the decision maker.
Correct. But usually they will not give you the result on the spot. They
Of
only
course
give
not. Of course not. So when you get the feedback, which is a vague feedback, ask at that point.
But I also like get the result immediately after I just walk out from the audition room. I got like yes, like got the role, for example.
I think most of us know when we get a yes. Every time I leave an interview, I pretty much know. Like, I'm pretty sure I got that. I'm pretty sure I got that job. It's like doing the test. You know, when you have like that feeling, you just know when you did well in a test. Like when you finish a test, you know if that was like a pass, if that was like a kind of like a credit, right? Like you know how well you did. You know how, like, you even know the moment they say bye to you, how they shook your hand, how they look at you at the end of it. Like you get a sense of that's a yes or a no from them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you feel a hesitation at that point, I would try and say something to turn that around even before I left.
Okay.
Yeah. Think about it. Just think about it. All right, let's go to Jay. Is Jay there? No, Jay? How about Lynn? All right, we've got two people not there, I guess, or can't speak. Let's see. All right, cool. All right, well, we've gone, you know, time goes too fast. I hope you guys found this helpful. I always try to make these sessions as practical and personal as possible. Because, you know, like the book, you have the words in front of you, right? You can read that. I think the value is in like, you know, each of us, like, you know, being able to like get through our own personal challenges. So hope you like that. Hope you enjoyed the session. And yeah, catch you guys next week. So these runs like every week. We've got, for those of you that sort of missed out on the Lisa thing, not sure if you realize. So at the back of Lisa's session, Lisa has a course, Radical Confidence course. And it actually goes through the chapters she has. So all the chapters that she have, like the dreams are gamble, make up your mindset, validation is parking. She actually did videos on every single one of these chapters. So that course, 30 people won that course during the event. And for the people that wants to be a part of it, yeah, Lisa has like this discounted thing for like $98. It's some ridiculously cheap amount. And she also wanted me to help everyone activate their confidence. I'm like, yeah, sure, Lisa, let's do it. So I'm running coaching for free. So for 5 days between the 24th to the 28th of June, I'll be running that course. So we'll do it together. So one, you'll get the login from, you know, you pay whatever amount to Lisa. It just all goes to Lisa. I make zero money from that, right? You just sign up with Lisa. It's completely her thing, even though it's the link for book club. So it's like radicalconfidence.com/calms. So they built a page specifically for me, book club. So you guys can get it at a super cheap price. So yeah, anyone that wants to do that, feel free to do that. Then just let me know you've signed up so that I can add you to the Radical Confidence activation. And so we can do the course together as well. So that you're not just doing a course alone, sitting on your computer, but we activate it together. So yeah, that's coming up. And you can do that virtually, and you can do that in person. So I'm going to run that actually in Sydney, in a venue in the city. Yeah, which is pretty cool. I haven't done a dual thing like that before, so that's why I'm doing it. Because you know, I'm not charging anything. So if I kind of fail, it's like no one's gonna be angry at me, right? It's like there's no downside for people. There's potentially only an upside. So I thought, yeah, it'll be a great chance to try and do a hybrid thing because I've never tried that. Like, you know, like being in Zoom, there's obviously stuff to navigate already. There's like the camera, then there's like the chat, which is kind of hard. So it's like, I just want to know what it's like to add another element when you do a hybrid. It's like an in-person thing and do live, and how do you navigate that? If I was running my own program where it's like paid and I had to navigate that, well, I don't know, people's going to get shitty if I screw it up, right? So I thought, since I'm doing this thing for free for Lisa, I might as well try and like build my skill set for this at that time. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing whilst helping people out. So yeah, feel free to jump into that. It'll be really fun. All right. Do you guys have any question for me before I jump off? I'm having a chat with Lorena afterwards. So I'll just jump off and then we'll jump back into the thing. Lorena, yeah? Cool. All right. I will catch you guys.